Okay. Good morning to all of you. So today we are going to have a discussion on the distributed database that we are continuing in our last classes. So from the last class of while we are continuing, we are going to move forward of distributed database system. Okay. So we are talking about the distributed database system and all of the thing in our last classes. Today, we are going to check the degree of homogeneity or the types of distributed database. First, we can say the thing is that types of distributed database in what are the types present in our distributed database system. So, depending upon the degree of homogeneity of their distributed database management system, there are two types. First one is the homogeneous and second one is the heterogeneous distributed database management system. So two types. First one is homogeneous, second one is the heterogeneous. So in homogeneous distributed database management system, the thing is that all the servers of individual or local, whatever it will be, so it is using identical software. It is using some identical software and all users use the same, means the software are similar. The software are similar. So the homogeneous database, all the servers of individual and local DBMS use the identical software and all users use the same. So the servers and the users are using the same type of identical software. It is the type of homogeneous distributed database management system. Whereas the heterogeneous distributed database management system, the servers or users may use the different types of software. So depending upon the software or the homogeneity, there are two types. First one is the homogeneous and second one is the heterogeneous. Second one is the heterogeneous. So in homogeneous, the servers use the identical software and in this particular type of where the software, the server and the client both use the same type of software. Whereas in heterogeneous distributed database management system, the servers and the users may use the different types of software, Now, depending upon the degree of local autonomy, degree of local autonomy. The degree of local autonomy is there is no provision for the local site to function as a standalone database management system, then the system has no local autonomy. See, if there is a no provision for the local site, so in the local sites, if there are no provision to cite as a functioning as a standalone DBMS or the local DBMS, then there is a no local autonomies are present, such as direct access by the local transaction to a server is permitted. Direct access to a local transaction by a local transaction to a server is permitted, then there is no case of local degree autonomy, but the system has some degree of this local autonomy. So if the provision for the local site is functioning as no standalone DBMS, then the system has no local autonomy. Otherwise, the system has some degree of autonomy. So we can see that if a system is directly accessed by a local transaction to a server, if we permitted for a direct access by a local transaction to the server, then there is no degree of local autonomy. Then there is no degree of local autonomy. Now, the part of the federated DBMS. In a part of the federated DBMS, the server is an independent and autonomous. The server is independent and autonomous centralized DBMS that has its local users transaction and database DBA. So database administrator. So in a federated DBMS, each server is an independent and autonomous centralized DBMS. As an autonomous centralized DBMS that has its own local access, the users, all the things, that means the total things are happening on the local side. The total things are happening on the local site. So in a federated DBMS, the server is independent and autonomous. Centralized DBMS, autonomous centralized DBMS has its own local users and all of the things. In a federated database systems, there is some global view or schemas is also present of a federation of databases that is shared by the applications. That is shared by the applications. So in a federated DBMS, the server is an independent and autonomous. So it has its own local users and the local transaction is happening, local database admin. So each on the site, each on the local sites, there are some local administrator and all the things are happening locally. All the things are happening locally. But in the federated DBMS also there is some global view or schema are present. There are some local view and schemas are present, and it is a federation of the databases that is shared by the application. So here the application are sharing the things. Here the applications are sharing the things between each other. So the global views and schema and the federated DBMS part is present there. And in a multi-database system, there exists no global schema. So in a federated database system, there is a global schema as well as some local transaction and all the things are happening. But in a case of multi-database system, no global schema are present. It interactively construct one as needed by the application. So whatever the application needed, as per the demand or the need of the application, the interactive construction is happening in the case of multi-database system. In the case of multi-database system, but federated database system has its own local user, local transaction, database administrator, whereas also it has some global view or schema, and that particular global of schema. So in federated database, global schema is already developed, and that global schema is actually used or shared between the applications, whereas in multi-database system it constructs as per the need or the demand by the application. So one difference here we can say between federated and multi-database system, that federated database system has global schema or view, and that needs to be used by the applications, and that is shared between the applications, whereas in the multi-database system, the global schema, there is no global schema user. The schema was interactively construct as per the need of the application. So this type of this heterogeneity that is present here in federated database management systems. So there are some form that there are some things actually we can arise, that is the differences in data models. So we can find out some differences in data models, such as one server may be a relational database management system, another an object or hierarchical sub management system. So differences data model system. First of all, that one server may be in a relational database management system. One server may be in a relational database management system, and another is an object of a hierarchical management system. Differences in constant using the referential integrity constraints and triggers. So differential constant, what is happening that it is using the referential integrity in the part of this federated database management system. It is using the referential integrity constant and triggers. It is using the referential integrity constraint and the triggers. And differences in query languages also there. That is, SQL has multiple versions. There are several versions have been developed by SQL, and that can be used at any particular needed. So main two things, that is the differences in data models. The main two things that is present in a heterogeneity present in the federated database management system. First one is we can say the differences in data models, and second one is the differences in constant. So differences in data models is sharing that maybe one server in a relational database management system and another as an object or hierarchical in management system. And second one, that it is using the referential integrity constants. It is using the referential integrity constants. Now, here the part of communication autonomy. The part of communication autonomy refers to the ability. What is the communication autonomy? It is saying that the communication autonomy is a refer or is a process to the ability to decide whether to communicate with another components of DPS or not, with another component of database systems or not. So, communication autonomy actually deciding or referring to the ability to decide that whether one database management system needs to communicate with another components of DBMS or not, with another components of DBMS or not. And execution autonomy. So these are the autonomies. First one is the communication autonomy. Second one is the execution autonomy. Execution autonomy is the ability of a component of DBS to execute local operations without the interference from external operations by other components. So execution or communication autonomy, what is it saying? That communication autonomy is saying that it is deciding whether to communicate with the other DBMS components or not, whether to communicate with another DBMS components or not. And in execution autonomy, it is referring to the ability of the component to execute local operations without interference from the external operations by other components. So in execution autonomy, it is referring to the ability of a component and deciding to which execute the local operation. It is executing the local operation without any interference from the outside or global components or other components of the DBMS. So the thing is happening locally. Other interference is not allowing here. Third one, the association autonomy. Third one is the association autonomy. It is referring to the ability to decide whether and how much to share its functionality and resources with other components. Association autonomy is saying it is referring to the ability of deciding whether to share the components between or the resources or the functionality between each other or not, and also at the same time it is actually saying how much to share. If we are sharing, then how much data or how much components we need to share between each other. So we can see there are three types of autonomies are present. First one is the communication autonomy, that is deciding that whether the things we need to communicate or whether we need to communicate with other components, other DBMS components or not. Second one, it is execution autonomy, that is deciding that all the things are happening in the local site locally, and there is no interference from the outside or external data components of the database. Third one is the association autonomy, that is actually deciding or making a decision that whether the components of DBMS need to share with other or not, and if we are sharing, then how much data or how much the components we need to share. So we need to control that how much data, how much components we are going to share with each other. So these are the three basics autonomy, first of all, in the case of distributed database management system. Here we can see the 5-level schema architecture of a federated distributed database management system. Federated database management system. So here the 5-level schema architecture we can see. So in the first part we can see the external schema. So first one we can see here as an external schema. First one we can see here as an external schema. Second, then the federated schema. External schema first one, then the federated schema, then the federated schema, then the export schema, that is exporting the thing, then the component schema, local schema, and the component of database system. Components of database system. So 5 level here we can see. First one is an external schema. Second one, we can talk about the federated and the extra federated part, then the export schema part, then there is some component schema and the local schema. So starting from the low, if we are going for the bottom to top approach, then we can see that there is a DBMS, components of the DBMS are there. Then the local schemas are doing their work managing. Then the component schema, if their things are need to share and all of the parts, then the export schema, federated schema, and the external schema. So these are the 5-level architecture of a federated database management system. 5-level architecture of a federated database management system. Federated database management system. So here an example is given that suppose that the employee and the department relations are distributed. So suppose there is an employee and the department relations are distributed. The query for this particular is that to get the output that some pi if name, L name, first name, last name, department name from the employee table, whereas is joining the department number with the number with the department number another. So employee and department table is there. So the joining is happening and we are getting the first name, last name and the department name. So it may be executed with one of the following strategies. So here a query is executed and how it can be processed. How it can be processed. So it can be executed by the following strategies. So what are the strategies? First of all, that transfer both the employee and the department relation to the result side. Transfer both the employee and the department relations to the result side. Second, transfer the employee relation to site A, where the department relation is located. Execute the query and send the output to the result side. So if you're talking the first one, transfer both the employee and department relation to the result side. So transferring both the components of employee and the department into the result side. Second one, transferring the employee relation to site A, where the department relation is located. So transferring the employee component to the site where the department relation is located, executing the query and then send the output to the result side. Then send the output to the result side. So first strategy, we can see that we are transferring both the employee and the department to the result side and then processing the query. Second one, transferring the employee relation to the site A, transferring the employee relation to the site A where the department relation is located, executing the query and send the output. Third one, transfer the department relation to the site B. Transfer the department relation to the site B. We're executing the query and send the output to the result side and send the output to the result side. So these are the three particular type of strategy we can actually talk about by which the query can be executed. By which the query can be executed. So here there is an example to illustrate the volume of data is getting transferred. So here we can see there are two sites is present, that is the site 1 and site 2. Site 1, it is an employee site and site 2 is a department site. Employee site, we can see the components, that is the F name, first name, minute, last name, SSN, B date, address, means there are different types. So there are 10,000 records present and each record is 100 byte long. And there is a SSN field is 9 bytes long and D number field is 4 byte long. F name field is 15 byte long and L name is 15 byte long. So we can see there are records, the total number of records present in the employee, that is 10,000 and each record is having 100 bytes long. So each record having the 100 bytes long. So SSN and D number fields are even that 9 and 4 bytes long, and F name and last name is 15 bytes long. Whereas in the site 2, this is the department site where the total number of data are present, that is the 100. Each number is having 35 bytes long. The number present, so total things have been described. So we can see there are two types of two sites are present where two types of data are present actually. Two types of data are present actually. So a distributed database management system that supports full distribution. A distributed database management system that supports the full distribution, fragmentation and the replication transparency. Always a query, the query decomposition module to break up or decomposition a query into sub queries that can be executed. So here what is happening, that in distributed database management system, it supports what are the features or present in our distributed database management system. That is the first one, full distribution. Second one, fragmentation. Third one is the replication transparency. So these are the features are present in our distributed database management system. So whenever we need to query something, it is actually doing the breaking of the query, and it is making a decomposition of the query and the query into sub queries, and breaking the queries into sub queries, and that can be executed at the individual site. So whatever data needs from what sites, the query is breaking into the sub queries and then processing it into the individual sites, then processing it into the individual site. For horizontal fragmentation, a selection condition specifies which tuple exists in the fragment. So if we are doing a horizontal fragmentation, if we are processing by the horizontal fragmentation, a selection condition is used here. A selection condition is used here for specifying which tuples exist in the fragment, specifying which tuples exist in the fragment. For vertical fragmentation, the attribute list for each fragment is kept in the catalog. For vertical fragmentation, the attribute list for each fragment is kept in the catalog. So here we can see that the attribute list and the condition is happening in the site two fragments. So figure here it is the 5.7 is present there, where it is actually happening is a site two fragments where employee department 5, department number, department 5, everything is present, also having some particulars. So each site and each having some breaking or fragmentation have been done, where which type of data we can see that in the first one EMP, that attribute list are present, F name, last name, minutes, SSN, salary, super SSN, this type of things are present. Guarding conditions, so department 5, this particular attribute list is having the department name, department number. These are the data. Department 5 logs, we have having the attribute list of all attributes of the department number and the location. So projects, we can see there is a project name, project number, project location, department number, and works on, we can see there is an ESSN, P number, hours, this type of. So guarding condition, there is a query, or this is a relational algebra, we can see that is the pi SSN of employee device. So these are the breaking, how to break the particular data into different parts, and how to guarding this particular list of fragmentation is present here. Now, this concurrency control or the recovery problems, it is present from the long back from the normal database management system. So it is also present here. So concurrency control and recovery problems in DBMS environment is that are not encountered in a centralized DBMS environment. In a centralized DBMS environment, dealing with multiple copies of the data item. So what is the problem? What is the challenges we are facing in the concurrency control and recovery problems? The first one, that is the dealing with multiple copies of data items. Dealing with multiple copies of the data items. Dealing with multiple copies of the data items. Failures of individual sites. Failures of individual sites. Failure of communication links, distributed commit, and distributed deadlock. So these are the challenges or the problems we are present, that is the concurrency control and recovery problems are not encountered in a centralized DBMS environment. In the DBMS environments that are not encountered. So what are the challenges? Dealing with multiple copies of data item that is not present in our normal DBMS, that is present in our distributed database management system. Failure of individual sites. Many sites can be failed. Failure of individual sites. Failure of communication skills. Communication skills also can be failed. Distributed commit problem can be there, and distributed deadlock. So this distributed concurrency control based on a distinguished copy uses a particular copy of each data item. The lock for this data item are associated with the distinguished copy, and all the locking and unlocking requests are sent to the site that contains the copy. So how to managing this distributed concurrency here, that it is controlling based on a particular distinguished copy. So there is a distinguished particular copy that uses that particular copy of each data item, and there is a locking system is happening, whether to lock and unlock, and all the requests for this locking and unlocking have been sent or we sent to the local data site, to the site or that local data site, whether this particular copy is actually containing. So any type of locking or unlocking is needed, that request need to be sent to that local site where the data is actually, where the main data is actually present and where all the things is happening. So we need to access that, we need to get the permission, or we need to lock or unlock request, send this lock and unlock request to that particular site, to that particular site where the data is actually present, where the data is actually present. And if all distinguished copies are kept in a single site, if all distinguished copies are kept in a single site, then it is called the primary site techniques, otherwise it is called the primary copy technique. So if all the data, all the information are kept in one site, if all the informations are kept in one site, then we can call it that it is a primary site copy. It is a primary site where all the things can be happen. And if the data or the information is present in the different site, and so that's where we called it as a primary copy technique. So there are two type of technique. If all the data sets are present in one site, then it is called a primary site technique. And if the copies are present and the data is present in different local sites, then it is called a primary copy technique. Then it is called a primary copy technique. So here, a site that includes the distinguished copy of a data acts as the consider coordinator site, acts as the coordinator site for concurrency control on that item. So if the data are present at different sites, so there a coordinator comes into the scenario who is actually coordinating between the things, between the transactions, between the concurrency control, and this is called where it is the coordinator site. So this is acts as the coordinator site, acting as a coordinator site to use the concurrency control, to work on the concurrency control of distributed database management system. So we can see here there is a primary copy technique, a primary site technique, and also if all the things are present in the one local site, then it is called a primary site, or if it is not, then it is called a primary copy technique. And we need to check, we need to send the lock and unlock request to the local site to work on this distributed distinguished, to work on a particular distinguished copy for this distributed concurrency control, for this distributed concurrency control. This Oracle system, now the part is divided into two parts. That is, the Oracle system is divided. First one is the front end as the client operation, the client portion, the front end as the client portion that interacts with the user. The client has no data access responsibility and merely handles the requesting, processing, all those part and presentation of data managed by the server. A backend as the server portion that runs Oracle and handles the function related to concurrent shared access. A front end as the client portion that interacts with the user. The client has no data access responsibility and merely handles the requesting or the processing and presentation of data managed by the server. Presentation of data managed by the server. So a front end as the client portion that interacts with the user. So front end for the client portion that is interacting with the user, that cannot handle no particular data transmission, data requesting, processing, nothing can be handled. A backend as the server portion that runs Oracle and handles all the functions related to the concurrent shared access. Backend as the server portion, front end as the client portion that can only interact with the user, that cannot handle any data responsibility mail or requesting anything, but as a backend server portion that an Oracle and handle all the functions of requesting, processing, presenting, this type of thing. So there are two parts, that one is the front end and the back end. Front end is dealing with the user interaction, and second one, the back end, is dealing with the processing, requesting, querying, all of the things, presenting the data, how to do this. So Oracle uses this two-phase commit protocol to deal with the, sorry for the network issue. Okay. So Oracle deals with this. Oracle uses this two-phase commit protocol. Oracle uses this two-phase commit protocol for to deal with the concurrent distribution database, concurrent distributed transactions. So Oracle using the two-phase commit protocol for dealing with the concurrent distributed transaction. So all these Oracle databases in a data distributed database uses this Oracle's network software, which allows the database to communicate across the networks to support remote and distributed transactions. To support remote and distributed transactions, Oracle support these databases links that define a one-way communication path from one Oracle to another. From also Oracle support this database links that defines a one-way communication path from Oracle example to another. So how to do this? That create a database link sales.us.america. So this establishes a connection to the sales database under the network domain of US that comes under the domain of America. So there, how to creating a link, a database link is created under the America domain where a network domain is present in the US. So this is the part of how to create a link, how to create a particular link. So data in an Oracle database distributed management system can be replicated using by snapshots or replicated master tables. So either we can replicate the master tables or we can create a snapshot. Replication is provided by the two level, that is basic replication and advanced replication. In basic replication, we can see that replicates of tables are managed for read-only access. So in a basic replication, it can hardly have a read-only access. For update, data must be accessed at a single primary site. So whether for a basic replication of tables are managed for only the read-only purpose, only the read-only. So if we need to make any changes, then we need to get the permissions at the primary site, And for the advanced replication, allowing application to update table replicas throughout a replicated database management system, data can be or read or updated at any site. Data can be read or updated at any site. So here we can see a Oracle distributed database systems structure or the diagram. It is a thing that there is a two database server. A link is created by a network. Databases are present in first server. There is some department table and database present. In the second server, there is some employee table and some sale database are present. And there is a database link created for to identify the local site. The application, there is a two transaction is happening. To transaction example we can see here, that is insert into employee sales, delete from the department, select from. So this type of particular transaction is actually happening. So we can see that architecture or the diagram of the distributed database management system. We can see the architecture or the diagram of the distributed database management system. There are two database server. A link has been created. Link is there to connect to particular database distributed database servers, where each of the database server having own local data or the local data site addresses, local data or local data site addresses. So these are the part up to which we are going to cover for this today's topic, that is a distributed database topic, the part. So I would like to request all of you to write down your names in the chat box, as there is a power issue and the LMS is down. So all of you write down the names in the chat box. I will update the attendance later on. So all of you kindly write down your names in the chat box. And the link is going to disconnect at any time. So I would like to thank you all for joining to the session, and I hope all of you are safe and just stay in your home and take care. Okay, so I hope all of you have write down your names in the chat box for the attendance purpose. So thank you all and stay safe and stay in your home. Take care.